Hello F11 members and welcome to the Fundamentals of Post-Production video tutorials for issue 44, September 2015. So, in front of me now I have the results of a shoot I did just the other morning at dawn overlooking Longleat house, just up the road here from us. Longleat's actually in Wiltshire, I believe. It's a beautiful location, and actually this was a shoot on a job that I'm working on at the moment, and I've been waiting for a trace of mist to be lying there in the valley, and finally I got it. And I think you can see from some of these other images that I've already processed from the shoot, it was a good one, just very subtle traces of mist lying there. But I did one particular picture here which I think would suit a panoramic treatment, and it's this image here. And if I zoom in, look at it full screen now, obviously that looks totally washed out and unimpressive, but of course the detail's all there, and I think instead of doing a panoramic stitch, which would have been possible, but looking down on the viewpoint would have had a few problems, I'm utilizing the full 50.6 megapixels available to me now, shooting with the Canon 5D SR, to be able to crop and still keep incredible quality. So let's get on with it. The first thing I'm going to do is, looking at this image here, is actually crop the image before I do anything else. So let's go to the develop module, and first thing I do is crop the image to suit. Sky is totally uninteresting, so I'm going to crop here, and as you know from previous tutorials, always worth mentioning here, we have the option here to work to certain particular aspect ratios, or I can go to a custom crop, and that's what I'm going to do here. So just going to move this down here, actually custom there, move this down here. Oh, why is that doing that to me? Unlock it, that helps, doesn't it? Okay, move that down and move that up. I think I just want to include the bottom of those trees there, here in the shot. If I choose to crop like that, this tree here and this tree here come into frame, but I've got a big empty area here that I'm not particularly keen on, so I'm going to crop like that, and just so this slope here is in the shot. Okay, click on done there now, and let's start working on the picture, which looks very, very, very washed out and uninspiring at the moment. As usual, first thing do, adjust the black and the white points. So I'm going to move the black to the left, hold down the Alt key. How far can I go before I start to clip shadows? You'll see them just appearing in that bottom right hand corner of the image there. So that's dealt with that. Whites are, well, just looking at the image tells me that the brightest tones in the image are in danger of clipping, so I'm not going to touch the whites. Before I do anything else, actually, I'm going to come down here to my new discovery, the dehaze slider. Now, of course, there's a difference between haze and mist, but what I do want to do is take out a bit of that haze on the real distant part of the image. So just bring in my dehaze slider a touch. I'll always be able to fine-tune this later. I'd say to about 25 for now. Come back up, and already I've started to clip a few shadows there, so I'm going to readjust my black there till that red goes off. Okay, so next thing, the actual brightness of the picture. Fairly crucial consideration. I'm going to use the tone curve, and I'm just going to pull it down till I get the kind of density to the image I want. And I'm looking really at this bottom section of the picture here. At the moment the top bit is looking a bit too kind of bright, washed out, but I don't want to go too dark. I want to keep detail, keep a relatively high key bright image in the foreground as well. Part of the brief for the job is to show the house in its setting, so I want all this information in my foreground. By the way, I shot this with the 100 to 400 mm lens, and I'm open at 100 mm here. Used a polarizing filter to saturate the colors and cut down on the haze and the mist. Okay, so where am I at? What I think I want to do now is use the grad tool to pull back the top part of the image. So let's just bring that into play here, and I'm going to pull it down so it's on a slight angle here. And adjust it so it's a fairly soft transition there. And now experiment with pulling back the exposure in the top of the image using the grad tool. How far to go? Probably to about there. I'm also going to use it to put a touch of contrast into the picture, into just the area of the image that the grad is affecting, of course. And you can see what radical transformations all of this is having from where we started with this picture. I'm also going to pull back some of the highlights because of these areas here in the brightest part of where the house is. And click on done. That's looking good, looking very good. If I just go to the Y here and cycle between where I started and where I'm at now, you can see the difference. I exposed to the right to capture as much information as possible, which gave me a very washed out image, but now you can see I'm getting it back. Okay, oh, that's not what I wanted, that's not what I wanted. Okay, back where I started. Pause to consider. Well, actually that grad's working well, but I want to modify its edge. So the way I do that is using that technique we looked at in a previous video tutorial a month or so back. So now I go to the graduated filter and click on the graduated filter, and then click on the button here that indicates that grad. Okay, now if I click on show selected mask overlay down below, it shows me where the grad is in operation. Now I'm going to use the brush here. Click on the brush there. It's gone off. Sorry. Click on the brush there, and now I can add or detract to the mask. So down here I have the size of the brush, the feathering and the flow, and also the density of it. So I'm going to pull back the density a little bit here and adjust the size of my brush here using the square brackets key, and I just want to get the grad to come in a bit more on this section, and I can paint in there just on this section of the image, and also here crucially on the house. That's what I want to get a bit more density there, maybe just a touch there. And of course if I want to refine that, I can press Alt and take the gradding out. So you can really be quite subtle with this. Now if I come off with my mask overlay and just consider how that looks, pretty good. Come in again a bit more, come down with the size of my brush and just paint around those darkest edges of the house just to bring them in a touch more, and I think that's worked pretty well. If I click done, now if I just click on F, see the image full screen. Now that's actually out the boundaries of this video screen, but if you just want to select what you're looking at without any of the clutter around the image, just pressing full screen enables you to do that. Also if I click tab, we see it without any of the modules down the tabs down the side there. Okay, so we are getting pretty close to where I want to be with this picture. I'm now going to actually put another grad in here, just this time on this top bit of the image here, and I'm going to be super subtle here, so not much going on, just the merest hint of a grad, a touch of exposure, a touch of contrast there. Just helps to give the oh, what's happened there? Come back to that. Am I using my history tab there? And I'll click on done there. And now again, look at where we're at with the picture. Pretty radical transformation, I hope you'll agree. Let's just consider, do I need any kind of adjustments now? I could of course put some vibrance in here, but I've altered the contrast of the picture, I've altered the density, and that has the effect of basically saturating the colours. So I need to be careful. If I were to put something like 20 in there, it's too much, it's too treacly, it's way too much really. I'm just going to put the merest hint of colour vibrance in there, 5. And now I'll look at the image, and of course it's time to sharpen the picture. So let's just zoom in close. This is shot with the 5D SR, by the way, and the quality is amazing. Go to my preset and I'm going to select Sharpen Scenic. It just puts a touch of an edge on the image there. Come into the other parts of the image, and really that's where I'm at with that picture. I think I'm going to experiment more with cropping images. I've never been one for doing it in the past, but now I've got so many pixels at my disposal, it is certainly an option. Okay, so now I'm finished with this picture. I'll export it, and that is that. Okay, I'll see you in part 2. Not sure what I'm going to do yet, but we'll continue our post-production discoveries. Thank you.